Well, today is All Souls Day in our church, and parents, in a moment we're going to ask that if you want to come forward with your children and speak a name to them of someone you're remembering today and light a candle, that we'll do that. But first we want to share with you some of the pictures that we brought, as today is a day where we remember those who have died, and each person in this room knows someone who has died. And so, come on guys. Why don't you talk to us about who you brought?
Well, I brought a picture of my grandmother. I brought her last year as well. If anybody's been in my office, you know that she sits on my bookcase and watches me work. My grandmother was the first person in my family. She and I are the only two people in my family that ever went to college, and she ended up going to the seminary just down the road and becoming ordained as a Methodist minister when she was in her 60s. And so she was a real model for me, and she never got to, while she was alive, she never found out that I followed in her footsteps. And so she watches me while I work, and this is my way of honoring her.
Well, we both brought religious leaders in our lives that came before. Mine is a picture of Sister Cornelia Ransom, a cousin of mine who was a very progressive, maybe even radical Episcopal nun, wearing her habit in the days before she changed the way they did that and they didn't have to wear habits anymore. She died a few years ago, but I just went back this year and visited the convent where she lived for 40-something years, and her grave, and so I thought it would be good to bring her into this space this morning.
And I didn't bring a religious leader. I brought my grandmother and her sister, and they're both dead now. My grandmother never graduated high school, but she was kind of a brilliant person, and she wanted me to be a doctor. She never found out that I was became a doctor, but a different kind of doctor than she thought. And she was a great cook of Italian food. She was about 5'2", but she was mighty. And I'm going to talk about her a little more later. So those are our remembrances. We want to now invite the congregation to sing Go Now in Peace, but we would invite you parents to come forward with a child and whisper to them a name you might be remembering today, light a candle, and then escort the children to go with their teachers. So we'll keep singing until the children have gone to class.